Welcome today to the Von Hanshaw broadcast. This is your evangelist, Brother Von Hanshaw. Our text is found in the book of Daniel, chapter 5, verses 5, 6, and 25. King Belshazzar of Babylon was throwing a drunken party for 1,000 of his nobles in this chapter. They were drinking from the gold and silver cups that King Nebuchadnezzar had taken out of the Jewish temple in Jerusalem. By using these cups, he was showing his flagrant contempt for Yahweh Jehovah, the true God, because that was the cups used in Jehovah's temple. They were praising their Babylonian idols and their Babylonian gods at this wild, drunken party. In the midst of this Babylonian party, a hush suddenly fell upon the crowd. Near one of the lampstands that illuminated the banquet hall, fingers of a man's hand were seen writing on the plastered wall. The terrified king watched as the hand wrote a message. He became so frightened and terrified and scared that his legs buckled and he fell to the floor. He summoned his astrologers and his wise men to decipher the strange message which was written on the wall, but none could decipher or interpret the message. They finally brought in Daniel to interpret the message. Verse 25 tells us what Jehovah Yahweh God had written on the wall for all to see. Now listen to me. The message was, Mene, tekel, upharsin. Mene is an Aramaic noun referring to a weight of 50 shekels of silver. It means to number, to reckon, to count. Tekel is a noun referring to 1 shekel of silver. It means to weigh in a balance. Upharsin is a noun referring to 25 shekels of silver, and it means to break in half, to divide, to cut in two. Verse 27 tells us the overall meaning of this message that God wrote on that wall. It says, you've been weighed in the balances and found lacking, found wanting. In other words, Belshazzar, the king of Babylon, did not measure up to God's standard of holiness. God had rejected Belshazzar and was telling him so here on the wall. Belshazzar's moral, ethical, and spiritual character did not measure up to the standard of God's holiness and righteousness, so he was rejected by God. America eats, drinks, parties, and is merry in their bold rejection of Jesus Christ. They never think of God. America never thinks of Jesus Christ unless it's in a time of calamity or trouble, or unless it's on a talk show where they're making fun of the Lord Jesus Christ on the cross of Calvary. America has arrogantly removed Christ from our schoolhouse and our courthouse and our jailhouses and most of our church houses. America has proudly defied Christ and his holy word on every turn. But did you ever stop to think that there comes a time when the God that we reject will one day reject us as a nation? And that day is here, my friend. Today, God has rejected America. On September the 11th, 2001, the United States of America was an unlimited party mentality. If it feels good, do it attitude, until the 2 hijacked airplanes flew into the Twin Towers and God crashed our party that day. Let me tell you something. The night that God crashed Belshazzar's party was a night to remember. And when God crashes your party, brother and sister, it's a night you will never forget. And God crashed America's party on 9/11. Since then, we have had horrible natural disasters as we go right on partying and ignoring Jesus Christ. Every time a tornado hits a town, that is God crashing your party. Every time a flood drenches your town, that is God crashing your party. Every time a forest fire rips and roars through the countrysides of this nation, that is God crashing your party. Every time another school shooting or a workplace shooting occurs, that is God crashing your party. Every time a hurricane destroys one of America's coastal lines, my friend, that is God crashing your party. God has been trying to write on our walls in America, but no one's taking notice. God's been trying to get our attention, but no one's paying attention. God has been trying to wake us up from our zombie state of slumber, but we are a numb nation who is hypnotized by the pleasures of sin. What is it going to take for God to get our attention as a nation? We have already been weighed in the balances of God and found lacking. We are already under the judgment of God, and few, I said few, very few are taking heed. The handwriting is on the wall, and none wants to know what it says. There is no fear of God in this nation. There is very little true faith in God in this nation. May God have mercy on the United States of America is my prayer. I see that I'm out of time. Until next time, may God bless you.